Satellite Cafe. If you've ever traveled between worlds, drifting through the long silence between stars, you might have seen a small point of light glinting against the black. At first, it looks like another satellite, one of millions orbiting the trade routes between the inner and outer systems. But if you draw closer, you'll see it's something else entirely. A cafe, perched on the edge of space, turning slowly beneath a wide observation dome, waiting for travelers to stop for a warm drink and a quiet hour among the stars. The Satellite Cafe sits in the Lagrange shadow between two small moons, just far enough from the main trade lane that only those who truly want to find it ever do. The cafe itself is shaped like a ring, its walls curved with windows looking out over the darkness. Panels of silver metal line the outer hull, while the interior glows in soft amber light that never quite reaches full brightness. When you step through the airlock, the change is immediate. The hum of your ship fades, replaced by a faint melody playing over unseen speakers. It's a quiet, simple tune, like something that's been looping for years. The air smells faintly of roasted beans and ozone. On the wall behind the counter, someone has painted a mural of a steaming cup surrounded by tiny constellations. The paint worn where countless travelers have brushed past. Behind the counter is Mira, the keeper of the cafe. Nobody knows if that's her real name, or if it was simply the name on her first name tag. She's tall and calm, with a streak of silver running through her short black hair, and a habit of smiling just before she speaks. She moves slowly, unhurried, as if time runs differently inside the cafe. When she pours coffee from the metal pot that hovers above the induction plate, the liquid gleams faintly, tiny motes catching the light like captured starlight. She claims it's a blend of beans grown in hydroponic fields orbiting Titan, though everyone suspects she has her own secret mixture. The steam rises in soft coils, vanishing just before they touch the ceiling vents. Behind her, the storage shelves are neatly arranged. Metal tins of tea, jars of honey sealed with resin, a small basket of preserved lemon slices floating in clear syrup. A small group of travelers sits near the main window. They've taken off their helmets and laid them neatly by their boots. One of them, a woman in a red flight jacket, is cleaning the condensation from her visor. Across from her, a freighter pilot with tired eyes stirs his drink slowly, watching the spoon circle in the low gravity. Their conversation drifts like vapor. Snippets about docking fees on Mars, a recent meteor shower near Europa, someone's lost cat on an asteroid colony. Nobody speaks loudly. The cafe encourages quiet. Even the machines seem to respect it. The coffee grinder hums softly. The air filtration unit releases its sighs in rhythm. And the magnetic boots of new arrivals make only the faintest tap as they attach to the floor. The window in front of them is vast, stretching from floor to ceiling. Outside, the stars look close enough to touch. The moons move in their slow, orbital dance, their surfaces catching light from a distant sun. Every so often, a ship passes in the distance, a gleaming arrow of white that leaves a line of luminescent vapor before fading back into the dark. On the glass, faint traces of fingerprints catch the light, left behind by visitors who once pressed close to look down at the world far below. Near the corner of the window, a tiny sticker has been placed. A smiling comet with the words, "Refuel your soul." To the right of the counter stands an old jukebox. It's been retrofitted for space use. Its curved metal sides buffed smooth. Its transparent dome reinforced. Inside, the records are holographic plates that shimmer with faint blue light. Mira says she found it abandoned in a scrapyard orbiting Callisto and fixed it herself. Every few hours it plays an old tune, one of those melodies that sound like they've been playing forever. Sometimes a traveler will wander over and select something. Jazz, slow waltzes, a bit of static laced guitar. The sound fills the small cafe, bouncing off the curved walls, wrapping the room in a sense of warm familiarity. The rhythm mingles with the steady vibration of the life support systems, and together they form a heartbeat of sorts for the little station. In the far corner is the viewing alcove, a half circle of padded seats built directly into the wall. From there, you can see a great swathe of space. And if you time it right, the blue arc of the nearby planet as it catches sunrise. A small telescope is bolted to the frame. Most of the time, it's pointed towards the nebula in the distance. A faint cloud of pink and gold that blooms like a frozen fire. Travelers often sit here after long journeys, their helmets beside them, their hands wrapped around warm mugs. Some write messages on thin, transparent sheets left on the table, signing their names and dates, or small notes to whoever comes next. Arrived from Io, heading home, Mira collects them all, laminates them, and pins them to a wall in the back room. The entire back wall is covered in them now. Thousands of thin sheets, like glimmering leaves. Through the kitchen door comes the scent of baking. Mira keeps a small oven behind the counter, where she warms pastries sent from the orbital markets. The low gravity makes them rise differently, soft and uneven, their crusts flaking like layered clouds. There's the faint hiss of butter hitting the metal pan, followed by the slow creak of the oven door. Sometimes she hums while she works. A simple melody, repeating in 3 notes. When the pastries are ready, she places them under a transparent dome on the counter. A young engineer in a green jumpsuit comes to collect one, holding it carefully in both hands so it doesn't float apart. He sits down near the corner window, breaking it open gently to reveal steam and the scent of cinnamon. The crumbs drift a little before settling back down on his plate. He smiles, chewing slowly, as though he's been waiting for something warm for a very long time. A maintenance robot glides past the tables. Its outer shell is brushed aluminum, a little scratched around the corners. It moves in a slow circle, collecting cups and wiping down the surfaces with a small cloth attached to its arm. Every now and then, one of its wheels squeaks faintly, and Mira makes a note to fix it when the shift quiets down. The robot pauses at each table, just long enough for a small blink of its blue light to acknowledge the guests. Some travelers nod back. It's been around so long that people call it short cup. On its side, someone once painted a tiny steaming cup symbol. And though the paint has faded, the outline remains. When it passes under the skylight, its surface catches the faint reflections of the stars. Tiny constellations sliding across its frame as it moves. In the lounge area, there's a small bookshelf. Not real paper books, though a few survive, but digital readers attached by cords. Each one holds a different collection. Ship logs from forgotten explorers. Poetry from Mars. Technical manuals annotated with jokes. Even a series of illustrated tales written by one of Mira's regulars. The stories describe imaginary planets full of glass forests and glowing rivers. People often read them while waiting for their ship's recharge to complete. The sound of pages turning or screens sliding is steady and rhythmic. When someone falls asleep reading, Mira drapes a light blanket over their shoulders, the kind that clings gently in low gravity. The blanket's fibers shimmer faintly in the soft amber light. On one side of the cafe is a small hatch that leads to the outer deck. The door has a sign, "For viewing only. Secure tether before stepping out." Beyond it, there's an observation platform with a transparent dome overhead. The air here is cold and thin, and the silence feels absolute. If you come out during the station's night cycle, you can see the sunlight break across the rim of the nearby moon, its surface glowing silver like brushed metal. The horizon line curves sharply, and for a moment you can forget which direction is up. Some visitors like to leave small items tethered to the rail: a coin, a ribbon, a data chip. The windless void preserves them perfectly, each one gently spinning in place. Souvenirs of travelers who passed through. Sometimes small cargo shuttles dock with the station. When they do, the sound changes. A faint tremor runs through the floor as clamps engage, followed by the steady vibration of equalizing air pressure. New faces step through the airlock, blinking in the golden light. Mira always greets them the same way. "Welcome aboard. You're safe here. What'll it be?" Some of them have been awake for days, their eyes rimmed with exhaustion. Others just want to talk, Mira listens, always quietly, always with the same patient half smile. She remembers the names of people who came through years ago. She remembers their ships, their drinks, their favorite songs on the jukebox. In a place where everyone is passing through, that kind of memory is a comfort all its own. Now and then the power flickers. The cafe hums in dim starlight. And for a heartbeat, the sound of the universe leaks in. A faint static, like far-away surf. Mira never looks worried. She just flips the switch on the counter, and the lights return, as though nothing ever happened. Solar interference, she says, happens when the sun rolls over. And she smiles again, as if to say the stars are still here, and everything will keep turning. Outside the window, the planet continues its slow spin. Clouds swirling in wide white spirals over oceans that shimmer like ink. Somewhere far below, morning is breaking, and someone else is waking to the day that you've just left behind. Toward the end of each shift, when the last guests have gone, and only a few cups remain on the counter, Mira dims the lights even further. The music quiets until only the low hum of the air recycler remains. She stands by the window for a moment, looking out. In her reflection, you can see the glow of distant satellites drifting past, silent and indifferent. She wipes a small spot of condensation from the glass with her sleeve. Beyond it, the cafe's lights make a faint halo around the structure. A tiny warm sphere against the vast cold. Somewhere below, a freighter burns its thrusters, a streak of orange that fades into nothing. Mira watches until it's gone, then turns back to tidy the counter. The spoon clinks softly against a ceramic cup. Steam rises and disappears. You could stay here for hours and not notice time passing. The rhythm of life at the satellite cafe isn't measured in seconds, but in cycles. The spin of the moon, the docking of ships, the refilling of mugs. Outside space stretches in every direction. Inside, everything feels close and quiet. You can hear the low murmur of the ventilation, the faint creak of the hull adjusting to temperature shifts, the rustle of paper messages on the wall. Someone left one recently. Stopped here for tea. Stayed for peace. The handwriting is small but steady. If you look closely, you can see your own reflection faintly overlapping it, your face framed by the stars. Eventually, your ship will be ready. The console will ping softly, and the engines will hum awake. Mira will hand you a sealed mug for the road and nod toward the hatch. Safe travels, she'll say. Outside, the docking lights flash in sequence, green to white. The airlock seals behind you with a hiss, and through the small viewport, you can still see her silhouette at the counter, wiping down the surface. The faint glow of the jukebox turning in slow circles. Then your ship disengages. Thrusters flare, and the cafe begins to shrink in the distance. Just a small point of light again, tucked between stars. But you know it's there, still turning, still warm, still waiting for the next traveller to wander in and rest among the quiet orbits of space.